Hello and welcome. This is Ruth, and today I've got the second in Tonic's Create and Make series, and this one is called Celebrate with Love, and it's actually called the Champagne Bottle Gift Box Die Set. But obviously when you look at this bottle, it doesn't necessarily have to be for champagne. It could be a bottle for just whatever you fancy, oil or shampoo or bubble bath or anything like that that you want to give as a gift. But it's called champagne, and I'm going to go along with that at the moment. But there are 29 dies in this. It's really compact. You can see it's sort of all put on a very small area there, but there's so many dies that you could do lots of other things with as well. So if you have a little look at it, you can see there are decorative dies here that you could definitely use on other things. And then this bottle, as well as being a 3D gift box, well, the idea is actually that you have the gift box and then the lid and a little belly band that goes around the outside of it. But you could definitely use this as a 2D card, so you could have the bottle on the top of a card just as a layer or a topper. And I'm also thinking right now that you could probably put this part on the fold and make a card from that itself. So lots of ideas there, and I'm going to pick out some lovely card and whatever and come back and we'll just get started with that. But if you haven't already subscribed, I would really love you to do that, because it helps my channel along and it helps me know what kind of things you like if you keep coming back. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be able to keep up to date with this, because this is the Create and Make series just starting. But obviously over there on the rest of my channel, you'll find kits and showcases and all sorts of stuff for Tonic, but you'll also find lots of other little helpful videos along the way. So do, if you have time, leave me a little comment and let me know what you think, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. But I'll be right back. You'll have all the instructions inside your packaging. I just get these sent by Tonic, pre-production samples really, because I get them to make samples for the videos and for all sorts of promotional work with them. And because they come early, I don't always get the packaging with them, but you will get the instructions, and on the instructions it tells you how many bits and pieces you need to cut out. But obviously if you want to just follow along with me, feel free to do that, or you can mix and match the both. I've cut out 2 of these and 2 of these, so that's 2 of the bigger shape and 2 of the smaller ones. And the bigger ones obviously then are going to be for the lid, and then I have cut out the decorative details for around the lid as well. So that's this narrower strip piece here, and then this gorgeous little piece here, and I've cut that out in Silky Sky pearlescent card. That's really beautiful, and I've just glued that on there. Now I'm actually thinking, now that I've done that, I probably could have waited and put the detail on, the decorative detail on at the end, and maybe gone over some of these joins with that and not made those just so obvious. But I've done it now, and that's what we're going to go with. But I've got 4 of those ready, and then you can see here that I've actually got 4 of these broader panels ready, and these are to go on to the base part, and there they are. And now the way I'm going to do this is I've actually cut 3 of these. I've cut 2 in white, and I know I just said 2, but I've also cut 1 to go on the inside to line it, and I thought that that beautiful gold glitter card looks really lovely with that sort of turquoisey bluey colour there. So what I'm going to do now is leave the detail off for the moment, but because I have already put it on in this kind of orientation in between the end and the glue tab, I'm probably going to have to do the same on this one. But I've given these just a little shape, a little mould round there, and I have folded all the little glue tabs back as well. Now I'm going to glue this on here, and you can see right there there's a little mark, a little indentation. So I'm going to pop down my little mat because I don't want to get glue all over my desk. I have folded and burnished all the little glue tabs back. So the glue tabs are these semicircular ones, and these little ones in between are just little spacers so that you don't get gaps in between it, and you don't need to put glue on those at all. Now on the instructions it will show you to put this on here, and you line this end up with where that little nick is, or the little indentation, and you start there and just work your way up, or you can go the other way obviously, but I'm going to start here. But it does say on the instructions to go this way, and well, what I'm going to do is actually put the glue on this side of the tabs and start there and work my way around, because I just think it's easier to hold that down like so. I just think it's easier to have it in underneath, and you can pop that top die cut down on top of it. You'll notice that I haven't turned any of the glue tabs back. That's really just so that I know that they'll fit in behind there, and you don't need them turned back, because what I'm going to do now is glue the front of this tab here and just slip it in behind there, and then go ahead with the rest of these semicircular ones and bring that right round here and have that up. Now I know that I've just molded this. It's just enough to give that a little bit of just so that the fibres are slightly more pliable, and that means then that when you come to turn it around this corner, it goes no problem. And likewise, I'm going to do the same when I get that one on. I'm going to put this on here, and then that will just be gently persuaded around here and up to the top, and will fit on the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the 4 of them on all around like that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put this one over the back of it to cover all those little glue tabs, and then I will add this lovely gold one inside, and that lines it nicely. And I've already started to put these ones on around here, so I've got these little gold glitter pieces that I'm just going to glue around the base there, and leave a little gap here, because I know whenever I put my lid on, the lid will come down to here, and I want that down at the bottom just with a little gap on it. And I'm just looking at this now, and it actually kind of reminds me of a skittle or a pin or whatever, wherever you're from, whatever you call that, but for 10-pin bowling or whatever. I know it doesn't come in just as narrow at the bottom, but it, with a stretch of the imagination, you could probably turn it into something like that as well. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the lid, but these are the bigger pieces this time, because obviously that's got to fit on over this, and then the little lid sides are shorter than the side of the box. So I'm doing exactly the same thing. Now there's no little mark there, but you have a fair idea, because you'll know that you can start off right at the center line there, and I actually find it easier to do it with the one that doesn't have the glue tab on, the end glue tab. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing and follow right around there and make the little box. So that's the lid. That noise in the background is Nico snoring. You're probably used to it by now. Anyway, I have lined the inside with the gold, and I've put the smaller gold on top of the lid there, and the lid just looks really, really lovely on top of that, and I love that blue and the gold together. But what I've done is I've taken some of the blue and I have put it inside here and lined the lid as well. So I've done that with the double-sided tape, as you know, because I usually say in my videos that I don't like the little fine glue line that you normally see around that. It just causes a tiny, tiny ripple, and I don't like that. Anyway, when I was gluing it in, I had a little bit of glue on my finger. A little bit, sorry, that's Nico again, a little bit of glue on my finger, and it took the top of the colour off there. So I was just about to pull that out and replace it, or even put another piece on top, and then I thought, actually I'll just show you another little way of disguising that. So if you ever do it, there's usually some way or other of disguising it. You could just cover it, but I have taken this little piece, which is the label, and I've cut it out in the gold, and I've cut the other piece out in blue, and I've glued those together. And I know you're not going to, it's highly unlikely that you'll make the same mistake as me, but just don't think all is lost whenever you do, because usually something like that can be done, and that looks really, really beautiful. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a little belly band for this as well, but I have cut out the cork piece for the top here. So that was this piece and this one together, and I've actually cut it out in the white, and then I've used, this one in white, and then I've used the two together in this blue, and I was going to put that on there. I'm actually not sure now. I might think it actually looks nicer with the gold showing through. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now I've got to use glue this time, so I'm going to put it down in areas where you shouldn't really see it, just outside the edge here. I should have explained there that the reason why I had to use glue there was because double-sided tape wouldn't really hold anything properly onto the surface of the glitter card. So if this had been going onto a plain card or whatever, I could have used double-sided tape, but because of the sort of textured surface here, it had to be glue. Now I'm going to make the belly band. We've actually got quite a bit of it done, but I'm going to show you how I made it. So this die is the one that cuts out the front and the back, and then this die cuts out the sides. So you can see there that it goes sort of long ways on at the side there. So you cut 2 of this and 2 of this, and I've joined them together because you can see the little glue tabs are on this one, and you just fold that around and add these onto the side and make a continuous band with it then. And then I have taken this die here, and you can see it's got a little debossing line on it, and I've cut that out and put it on front and back here and here. I've done that in glitter card. And then I have taken the next die in, which is, let me see, this one. I've got some tape on it here. So I've got the Celebrate, and I've popped that inside here, and I've cut that out in that lovely blue card. And then I thought I was going to just put it straight on top of that, but I thought the Celebrate didn't stand out well enough on it. So what I've done is just put a strip of white card in behind there, glued that on, and then I can glue that directly on top of that. The one thing I should say, as I was gluing these together, that I didn't put the sides on very, very tightly, so I have sort of not pushed these glue tabs right directly up to the line, because I thought I have got a layering piece on top there, and it makes this a wee bit thicker, so you don't want this to be so tight that it won't move. You want it snug enough to, I think snug's the word, you want it snug enough to hold and not sort of fall off, but you don't want it so tight that it just won't fit on in the first place. So I now can glue that directly on there, and I've also taken, you probably saw there, this little die along with this one. I've used the 2 of those together and got myself these 2 beautiful panels, which I've put onto the side. And once I put that on there, then that's a little belly band for on here. But I've also cut this gorgeous little scrolly die out in the blue as well, and I'm going to put that one on down there. But there's 2 other little scrolly dies as well you could use for other places. They're actually little mirror images of each other, but I'm using that one at the moment. So I'll go ahead and glue all this together, and then I'll come back and make the little piece for the top. Doesn't that look really lovely? Those colours are, well, I think those colours are really, really beautiful together. Now I'm going to make the little sleeve part that goes up at the top, and I've gone ahead and die cut and indeed glued some of those pieces. So I've cut this one out twice in white, and that gives you this shape here. And then I've cut these little tails out twice again, so I've here and here, and you glue the little tails on in behind there, and you can see there's a slight little piece, a little chamfer off that there. So glue on the top side of it, and those little chamfers go together. It's not overly important, but it does just help them fit a little better if you do that. Now I'll set that aside for just a minute and explain the next bit to you. The side pieces that join these together, then you'll need to cut 2 of those out. So I've cut 2 of them out in white, and then I have cut the same thing again, but with this in the center in gold. So I've got 2 like this, and then 2 like this, and I've glued these on top. And I'm just going to do the same thing as I've done here. This little one here is the one with the glue tabs on it, this piece, and you would glue that to the side of each of these. So I'm going to, just glue that on there. There's my little tab off. Now I need to put a peg on that. I think that will hold that for a moment or two. It's glitter card. It just takes a little bit longer for the glue to grab on it, and if I was moving that about there, that will pop off. So there we are, problem solved. So you can see here where the glue tabs are, and I've glued this piece on, And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing here. Glue it on there and on there. Now because I have 2 layers on here, I don't want to glue this directly up to the glue tab again, the same way as I did for that band here. So just have a little look to see. Normally when I'm gluing things, I would push that right up as tight as I could get it there, but I'm just bringing it back slightly so that there's a little space there, and that way this isn't going to fall off, because it's no way is it going to fall down. Whoops, fall off. It's not going to fall off the bottle itself, because it just can't do it. It can't fall down there. But if you leave it a little tiny piece of card there and not glue it so tightly, that means that you have plenty of room to get it over the neck of the bottle and this piece here as well. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing there, bring it up to the edge and then slide it ever so slightly back, and that just gives me it still looks good. It doesn't there's not big pieces of card showing, but it does leave just a little gap, and that should be enough to keep that sort of fitting smoothly and snugly over the top. Now I'm just going to let the glue dry on that for a second or two, and then we'll bring it over the top and I'll let you see it. I have used this little piece then for the center, so I've cut, you can just use the oval if you want, and then there are 2 or 3 little pieces that you could put inside it. There's several of them in this die set. I used that one and it took a little heart out of the center, and I've put that on back and front, and now once that dries, that's just ready to pop over here. So that's it over, and the gold against the gold, that's actually the look I wanted, but I just want that to be a wee bit more visible, so all I'm doing is curling the ends of those tails up. It gives a little bit of dimension and it makes them stand out a little bit more. And isn't that really beautiful? I thought I would like to make a card using some of this, so I had actually thought of using this top panel and putting that on a card. I think that would look really, really lovely, but then I decided that I would go ahead and make an actual card base with the bottle shape. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of card that was wide enough to fit 2 bottles onto. This is the bigger size of bottle, and I'll just measure that and show you. That's 12 centimeters across there, so obviously I made it a little bit bigger than that and folded it in the center, so that's each side there is just about 6 centimeters. So when I had that folded over and burnished, then I took the larger die and I've set it onto the card, and I'll just show you here. It kept falling out of the die when I was trying to show it to you, so what I've done is just taped it in to show you. So the top score line there, the top cutting line actually, needs to be just over the top of the card. So you can see there, just over the top. It's not actually hitting the card at all. It's not actually beside it, it's above it. And that way, that won't cut through the 2 cards and you won't end up with 2 bottle shapes, but you will end up with this cut in 2 here, and that's still joined up at the top, and that gives you this beautiful bottle shaped card. Now obviously if you have a look at the other bottle there, it's rounded at the bottom, so it wouldn't actually stand up straight. So all I've done is put that in my guillotine and chopped a tiny little sliver off at the bottom, and now you can see that it stands up perfectly as a lovely little card, and I can go ahead and decorate that. And I'll obviously, because it's just what I like to do, I want to decorate it in the same colours to match in with this, so I could have a card and a gift to match. That's the little card all finished now, and isn't it really, really beautiful? I've decorated it up just to match this one, the little gift box, and that would make a lovely little matching set. So I've taken some of the pearled gold vellum and just shaped the little flowers there and added them on. And you can see there, I know I've spoken about colour and balance and things before. I've got gold up at the top here, so that sort of needed balanced by this gold at the bottom, and that looks really beautiful. And then I've added some honey gold glitter drops into the centre of the flowers there, and I've just hung this little "with love" from there as well. And there we have it, a lovely little card. Whoops, I hope that's dry. Anyway, I thought I would just make one last little project before I finish. I've looked at all sorts of things for this. I think actually you could, if you have a musical friend or someone who's into double bass or cello or something like that, that would make a lovely little case for that as well. There's actually just so many different ideas. Skittles, pins, whatever. I've mentioned that one before. So on this one, I've cut out the large bottle shape. That's another thing I meant to mention as well. If you haven't got the message in a bottle kit or whatever, and you fancied making a bottle like that with a little message inside it, that would be beautiful for that as well. And you could just put a message on there as well. I'll actually maybe link my kit video down below where that message in a bottle is there, and you could see how you could adapt this one as well for that. Okay, back to this one. So I have cut the bigger bottle out in white, and then I've cut it out in this silky sky blue as well. This is the satin effect mirror card. Then I've added the cork and this little thing on here, and I've actually just put another one over the back. I have put a smaller white one over the back as well, just to strengthen that, and it's really sturdy. That would make a lovely gift tag as it is, and you could decorate it you know, with the different pieces here, and just put a hole up here and make that into a beautiful gift tag to hang on a bottle or whatever. But I thought that I would make a little pocket for a gift tag here. So what I've done is I've cut the bigger bottle out as well and just trimmed it off here. I've put the smaller one in the silky sky on top of that, and then I just turned it over and cut it flush with that again. And that is going to be the pocket here. So I've cut the white, I've glued that on. This is the part that makes this belly band. And I was going to tuck it around the back and tidy it up there, but I didn't want it to interfere with the pocket, so I've glued it on. And then when you turn it over, you can just go ahead there and trim off with the scissors, and you can feel that's really a neat cut down there. And I've added these beautiful little pieces that you can see, the ones that I've used along the bottom. Well, there are two that mirror each other, and I've put them on there. And then the little flower, which I've used before in the vellum, and the other one there, you can see the lovely detail on it there. And I'm going to add a little honey gold crystal drop, glitter drop in the center there when I finish. But right now what I want to do is add that on there as a pocket. Let's see if I can get that right in. So as a pocket, so that you can put a tag in and out of there. So you could actually use that with 3D foam pads the whole way around if you want to step it up. I wasn't too sure if I really wanted that to sit up with the foam pads visible there. So all I'm going to do is give this a little shape like so, just a little bit, but I need to do this just before I put it in, attach it, and then I can add, well, I could actually add glue or double-sided tape around that, and I think I'll just put, I had the tape left out because I'm a real stickler for not seeing the glue through that, but actually I've just noticed, got carried away because I've got so many ideas with this. I've just noticed that actually the glue is not going to be on the satin effect card at all. So a very thin line just around the outside there. Now you don't want much at all, enough to hold it of course and keep it strong and firm, but so that it doesn't go right into the center and make your pocket any smaller. Not across the top, because that's the top of the pocket. And then you can go ahead and glue that on there, and there's your little pocket. Now leave that aside just for a minute or two and let that dry. And in the meantime, I have cut myself a little rectangle, and I actually used, I just get it here, a little corner punch. So I've used this corner punch because when I was going to put that down inside there, I thought, do you know, it actually doesn't look right because it's sharp edges on it and it really needed to be rounded. So I've used this Tonic corner punch for it. That's the 10mm one, and the little piece itself measures, just check, I should have done all this before, but that is just over it's 4¼ centimeters wide by 5½ long, and actually you could make it a little bit longer if you wanted, and that will then fit in there. I've punched a hole, added some blue ribbon, and there you have it. And now I can put my glitter drop on there because I didn't want to do that while I was still working at it. So that's it, done and dusted. That's the little box made, a card and a gift tag with a little pocket. And I was thinking there as well, if you had a memory book that you could add something like that into, that would make a lovely pocket and a tag for a memory book as well. So I don't know, but there's loads and loads of different ways of using that. And obviously all these different pieces could be used for embellishments on cards as well. And don't forget that you could just add the plain bottle itself onto a card. So all done, and I need to get on with the next project, but thank you so much for watching. My affiliate links to everything that I've used will be down below the video here in the description, and thank you so much to everybody who uses those, because I do get a little commission from that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra at all. If you haven't subscribed, really think about doing that, because that does help my channel. It helps me along, and if you have time to give it a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and leave a little comment, well, that helps me as well, and I really appreciate all of that. So until next time, happy crafting. Bye.